this secret ever since I was about 11. I had to spend every other weekend and every Wednesday night with my dad. One Wednesday night. So a lot of my other sisters just refused to spend that time with him. I had to go every other weekend and Wednesday nights by myself. The other sisters just refused, and somehow they didn't feel as obligated as I did or something. I was the youngest. My dad was taking me to the bookstore. That's basically what we did on Wednesday nights. He would take me to the bookstore and he would go off and do his own thing, and I would go off and do my own thing for about 2.5 hours, and then he'd bring me back home. But on this day, he wanted to hold my hand as we crossed the parking lot, and I was a big girl and I didn't need to hold his hand, and also he wasn't a loving person, so I didn't want to hold his hand. But regardless, I told him I don't need to hold his hand, no thank you, and he whipped around to go back to the car, and he said, well, that's it then I'm taking you back home. If you can't hold my hand because I want to get you safely across the parking lot, then you're going home. And I said, okay, I'll hold your hand. He's like, no, it's too late, I'm taking you home. So he took me home, and I snuck back inside the house, and I hid under the dining room table for about 2.5 hours until it was the proper time for me to be back home, because I felt like I was going to get in trouble from my mom and my other sisters for having come home too early, and everyone would know that I did something bad and made my dad mad at me. And so I just hid in the dining room until then I could pretend that I just came back like normal.